No doubt, something.
Well, so what is up, guys, and welcome back to week 5 of our top 10 list. We definitely had a lot of good races tonight. Some people went up, some people went down, and one person ended up switching his car, so he ended up dropping to 10 after his first race. But we ended up having about 23 races wrote down on the pad, so it was definitely a good night of racing. But anyways, here's the current list standings, and we're going to go ahead and get right into it. First up is Base Madman and Logan for the 9 spot. Let's see. Well, they tree about even, but Base is shooting off out of there like crazy, and he pulls away and takes Logan's 9 spot. Logan may be switching his car too, because we were testing in a Z, and he's really good in a Z for whatever reason, I don't know. But anyways, next race is Flipper and FHT0. Well, yet another even tree, but FH in the rapid just keeps pulling, and he gets him by little over a car at the end. But Flipper takes the spot because FH decides to switch his car to an ASP Mustang, and he has to leave for the night, so he'll be back next week. But next race is Owl and Mage, the rivals right here. Let's see. Well, Owl gets out on Mage, trees him a little bit, but Mage does a really good smooth run. These are the runs from Mage you got to watch out for, and Mage keeps his number 5 spot. But next up is 2 heavy hitters going at it for the 3 spot, which is Cred calling out Farco. Let's see who's number 3. Well, the OG burnout launcher pulls Farco by half a car, but that Farco pull gets around him at the stripe, keeping his number 3 spot. Next up was Logan and FHT0, but FH was AFK, so Logan gets the win. So next up is Base Madman going up against Flipper. Base in the Nova, Flipper in the G35. Let's see. That was another good race right there. Base Madman 60 foots Flipper and just happens to stay out the whole way, but Flipper's right there with him, so definitely a good run on both ends. Base takes Flipper's spot. But next up is Mage and Cred going at it for the 4 spot. Mage is flying and so is Cred, so let's see. Well, no need for replays. Cred does miss his clutch, but I will say if Cred got that clutch, he was going to be out of there. But Mage takes the 4 spot. But next is Retro and Farco for the 2 spot. Let's see. So this was definitely the closest race of the night. Finish line call ended up calling Retro on this one, and it does look like Retro. Farco was giving him a present too at the window, if you catch that, but I'll show you the pictures. Here we go. Retro keeps the 2 spot. But next should be a good race here, Logan and Flipper. Well, super good run to you guys here. I mean, Flipper's out a little bit, Logan pulls back up, but wasn't enough to get around Flipper, so Flipper wins. But next up is the 2 Novas on our list going at it. We've got Base Madman going up against Owl. They're both super fast, but Base, like I said, he's probably going to creep right up that list. Let's see. And that was another solid run. Base Madman gets out and hits a really good clutch and stays out, taking the number 6 spot. And we were worried too, because he did lift a little bit early, but he lifted just right on the stripe, so he gets the win. But next is Mage going up for that 3 spot. This is the highest he's been. Let's see. Well, no need for replays. Sadly, Farco the boss misses his clutch, and Mage doesn't give reruns, so Mage got it. And now Mage calls out Retro for the 2 spot. Let's see if his streak continues. Well, that was pretty close. Good run on both ends, but it looks like Retro does get a Becky run almost, and he gets back around Mage, keeping his number 2 spot. And now next race was Logan and Flipper, but Flipper had an issue on the line, and Logan won the race. Now next up is Logan and Al going at it. Let's see. Well, it looked like both of them made a fast pass. I think next week Logan's going to be in a Z because he's definitely at least a 10th or 2 faster in his Z than his Hellcat. For reasons being, I do not know why, but oh well. But next up is Farco the boss trying to get redemption on his 3 spot, calling out Mage. Well, Farco's 60 foot's like no other, and he leaves Mage in the dust. Mage did not stay up to speed, but he still makes a good pass. And he was right there with him, but Farco takes his 3 spot back. But next up is Al using his super call out because he was stuck, and he calls out Base. Let's see if Al can get his get back. Well, it looks like Base is on a strong pass again. And Al's on a good one too, but Base gets that good clutch and gets out of there, shuts it off early, and barely gets the win. So Base keeps his number 6 spot. Now next up is Flipper possibly getting his redemption on Logan. Let's see who gets it. And no need for high-speed replays. Logan in the Hellcat misses his clutch, and Flipper takes the win. But now we've got another get back, possibly. Cred calls out Mage for the 4 spot. Let's see. Well, that was another great run. Mage gets out by a fender, but Cred creeps it back and gets Mage right at the end by about half a car. Mage did hit Retro's door, so rip Retro's door. Sorry about that. So Cred gets the 3 spot. But next up is my first race of the night. Retro calls me out for my 1 spot. This is the 19th race on paper. Well, you saw 2 races because we did best out of 3. I missed my clutch on the first one because my controller was like screwed up, so he wanted to run it legit, so we did best out of 3, and I keep my 1 spot. But next up is Flipper and Al. Well, that's really an even race all the way down. They both did good runs. Flipper stays out though and gets the win on Al for this one. Next up was Logan and Al. The clip screwed up and Al got the win. So now Al is calling Flipper back out. Let's see. Now there looks like a stronger pass maybe out of Al or maybe a weaker pass out of Flipper, but Al gets it this time by about a car almost. But next up is Retro call me out again for my 1 spot. Hopefully I can hit my clutch. Well, this was like the cleanest race we had. I missed my clutch on the first one, so he ran me back. But then on the run back, his controller has stick drift and he like wrecked into my lane. So we raced again, and that was the race. So I keep my one spot. Good job, Retro. But anyways, there you have it for night 5 of our list. Here's the standings. Super good night of racing. We're going to do round robin on Wednesday. So tomorrow, if I post this on Tuesday. So anyways, we're still down to race Dingo's list as well. So let me know. Until the next one.